Bulavinaka, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tavenga Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, investment policy to be tuned to Fiji. 2 jail for violent robbery. And FICA investigates complaint against Felix Anthony.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
Efforts are underway to attract the right kind of investors and investment to our shores that are suitable to the changing environment. The Industry and Trade Ministry is working with the consultants from the World Bank Group and the International Finance Corporation to review the Investment Policy and Act. Kelly Badala reports the revised law will meet the current market demands.
The consultants from the World Bank and International Finance Corporation presented key features of the draft investment reform map with an investment policy statement for the proposed investment law at a workshop in Suva today.
In this regard, the process has been commenced with an investment reform map, and this highlights the areas of strength, the gaps and the weaknesses in the existing legal and policy framework for foreign investment, and identifies a reform action plan.
Fayascoe says Fiji needs an overarching policy that captures our development aspirations as stated in the 5-year and 20-year National Development Plan.
One key outcome of the reform map is having a comprehensive investment act, and that provides rights, protection and obligations to both domestic and foreign investors.
Meanwhile, IFC representative Jonathan Kirby says the draft policy was prepared after a comprehensive consultation.
Our investment policy experts work across the world to understand the drivers of domestic and international investment and to draw lessons from international experience.
This is the first phase of consultation on the investment reform map, the policy statement and the proposed law. Similar workshops will be held in the future before the investment law is finalized. Kelly Badala, FBC News.
The Fiji Corrections Service commander has confirmed to FBC News a video that was recorded by 2 Australian journalists for a TV program in Namboro Corrections Facility was done without their knowledge or approval. Francis Keane says a board of inquiry has been established to investigate the security breach believed to have occurred earlier this month. The program, called A Current Affair, shows clips of convicted Australian heroin smuggler Ethan Kai speaking to the 2 inside the corrections facility about his conviction and imprisonment. Keane says they will await the findings and recommendations from the Board of Inquiry before making any further comments. Kai was convicted of 1 count of unlawful importation of illicit drugs in relation to the discovery of $30 million of heroin in Lautoka last year. He is serving a 15-year jail term. 2 men, each convicted of 2 counts of aggravated robbery, have been sentenced by the Suva High Court. Kamanieli Turangalolo and Sela Rayawa robbed the cashier of the Total service station in Ladala Beach, Nasinu, of more than $3,000 last year. Pranita Prakash reports.
Kamanieli Turangaloaloa has been labelled as a threat to the community by the Suva High Court judge. The judge says Turangaloaloa is a habitual offender as he has previous convictions and has no intention of living within the law. He has been sentenced to 14 years imprisonment while his accomplice, Sela Rayawa, has been sentenced to 7 years imprisonment. The court heard that the 2 entered the service station on January 7th last year and stole cash and assorted items worth over $3,200. A woman who was inside the service station and threatened others at the service station with a knife and pinch bars. They fled in a stolen taxi. The High Court judge said they travelled at a high speed, putting lives of others at risk. The 2 were apprehended after their getaway vehicle was involved in an accident. The judge also highlighted violent and cowardly acts will not be tolerated by the courts. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
3 people, including an investor and an immigration officer, appeared in the Suva Magistrates Court this afternoon in relation to corruption-related charges. The 3 are charged with bribery, possession of forged document and using a forged document. Pranita Prakash with this report again.
Lingao is charged with 1 count of bribery and possession of forged document, while Parveer Ratan is charged with 1 count of bribery. The 3rd accused, Sereima Rokavanda, is charged with 1 count of bribery and 1 count of using a forged document. It is alleged that Ngao and Ratan offered $100 to Rokavanda, an exemption officer at the Department of Immigration last month. It is also alleged that Ngao altered her work permit so that Rokavanda could use the forged document and accept it as a genuine document. It is alleged that Rokavanda accepted an advantage of $100 and used the false document. Ngao has been remanded in custody after the court was informed that she is staying in the country illegally as her work permit expired in 2015. A senior immigration officer informed the court that her application is still being processed as they are still waiting for a report from Investment Fiji. Ngao has been remanded in custody until Monday, while Ratan and Rokavanda have been released on bail with strict conditions. The matter will be recalled on Monday. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
The Fiji Independent Commission Against Corruption has confirmed to FBC News they have received a complaint against FTUC General Secretary Felix Anthony. FICA spokesperson Nandini Vandana says the complaint was filed by the Fijian Elections Office earlier this month. The complaint is based on the revelations made by former PDP leader Linda Tambuya during a press conference in Suva last month. FBC News understands during the press conference, Tambuya revealed more about the PDP's December meeting and former leader Felix Anthony's continued involvement in the party's management. Registrar of Political Parties Mohammed Saneem says the press conference by Tambuya revealed more than what he found from the meeting minutes submitted to him. The Fiji Trades Union Congress will submit another application for a permit to march in Suva on April 7th. This after their first application was rejected by the police yesterday. General Secretary Felix Anthony claims the march will be much bigger than the one held in Nadi last month.
That gives government plenty time to breathe, to reconsider their actions and to do the right thing. And we certainly hope that this time around they will not be messing around with our application, that the approvals will be given in good time so that the workers of this country, their families and the citizens who support the cause of workers in this country are prepared to take to the streets and march and show this government their dissatisfaction.
Still to come, anti-corruption curriculum introduced, and Western Women's Craft Show targets tourism. Stay with us.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo tali taka na varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon ko lang ndo tali taka na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Kaya ako sila tali, nagurara may nawamanyi, nandunga. Gitu tali tagi yang gitu peneswale, nagunturong varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti na honga ni BNN.
Commonwealth Secretary-General Patricia Scotland has hailed the 20th Conference of Commonwealth Education Ministers meeting and the Integrated Partnership Forum in Nadi a success. Scotland says most of the objectives have been met. Felipe Naikaso reports.
It's been a hectic few days for these top educationalists from the Commonwealth who have been sharing information in trying to build a sustainable and resilient education system.
We were determined to be practical and pragmatic, and we were determined to come together to see better how we can help each other, how we can make sure that if you spend a penny or a pound in one of our countries, you don't have to spend the same penny and the same pound anywhere else.
However, the Secretary-General states that it's not over as they have a lot more work to do.
Everyone here is absolutely committed to doing that work, and we in the Secretariat are listening to what our countries are telling us. We're listening to what they're saying they need, and I'm absolutely determined as the Secretary General to create the tools that can be used by our member states to get them where they want to be more quickly.
Students who are also part of the conference through the Integrated Partnership Forum were happy to submit their issues to the different heads of Commonwealth.
We were able to see where we can fit in different spaces, how we can organize and how we can partner with the Teachers Association, for example. They need their capacity building and we need our voices to be heard, and we can come together as partners to make sure that there is quality education, which is what this conference is trying to strive for.
This forum has been quite an interactive one. I would say all the stakeholders have been integrated into one to actually come up with ideas and new policies, which is really good. It's a very good platform for us youths to be part of such a big event.
This is a very brilliant conference that it allows student views to be heard by the national policymakers, such as the education ministers.
The conference ends tomorrow. Philip Naikaso, FBC News.
Students will now be able to know more about fighting corruption from an early age after the Fiji Independent Commission Against Corruption and the Education Ministry introduced a national anti-corruption curriculum. The program is being piloted in 32 schools and will be implemented in all schools from next year. Ana Ravulo has more.
FICA and the Education Ministry today began their pilot phase workshop with teachers in the Central Division.
It's more to do with value-based education, where we need the teachers to review their teaching and learning process in the classroom and try and generate learning to the children.
Colorana Lever says the curriculum will be introduced to students from years 5 to 13, while students from years 1 to 4 have a separate special program.
The rationale behind this anti-corruption curriculum is that we're integrating anti-corruption lessons into selected subjects only, and those selected subjects are English, social science, social studies, accounting and history.
One of the teachers at the workshop says that this will definitely benefit both teachers and the students.
It's going to change the perceptions of the students. First of all, I think the teachers should change, so we need to inculcate the aspects they need to make changes in the society.
A total of 16 teachers from 12 schools in the Central Division attended the workshop. Ana Ravulo, FBC News.
Exposing their art and craft products in the tourism sector will be a major focus for women artisans in the Western Division. Speaking to hundreds of women during the Western Women Craft Show in Lautoka yesterday, Lautoka Town Council Chief Executive Chone Nakavandra said this will take these women to greater heights. Sanyani Boiler reports.
The Divisional Craft Show is an initiative of the government to recognize and empower talented women artisans.
Organizing these kind of shows give opportunities to artisans to prepare for larger platforms, such as the National Women's Expo. Women have been encouraged to capitalize the platforms in the hotels and nearby resorts, and more importantly, linking to other tourist attractions, not only domestic avenues, but also international platforms as well.
Women's Senior Officer West Makiretha Naisau says the today's show continues to get better.
This year they come up with new creative products, unique ones.
It's been good. I mean, business hasn't been like, but at least now we're getting recognition, and you might have noticed our name is the Busy Bees Club because we are always busy doing things.
It's a time that women get to expose their work, and you see a lot of great talent, and a lot of new things are coming up.
The Women's Ministry is urging the artisans to maintain quality and standards set out by the Trade and Tourism Ministry. The show ends today, and the successful artisans will represent the Western Division to the National Women's Expo that will be held in June. Sanyani Mboila, FBC News.
Shadows and Light is an exhibition 10 years in the making and is now open to the public at the 21K Gallery in Suva. The solo work from the local artist Kim Sachs, who prior to showing off her art was once a photojournalist. With close to 40 pieces on display, the exhibition celebrates Sachs' coming of age, experimenting with portraiture in various styles and of various subjects. Curator Peter Sapelli says the exhibition is a new way of seeing the world through the eyes of a young artist.
I mean, Kim is a
perfect depiction of an artist. So every portrait is someone in her life. Every abstract or surrealist painting has a story to it. And if you walk around, every single one has a name. It's someone that existed in her life, inhabited her memory.
In sports coming up ahead, Suva Football's new coach ready to lead the team. But up next is Rachel with the latest in business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up in business tonight. Vendors on board to supply VAT monitoring system devices. And in growing Fiji, basic industries to invest in housing industry. Stay with us.
Moala rana vika au tikongona taunu singa toka ando talifaka na wakaronga na Mbula FM namba 2 na sere.
Ya dora subuli kurna bili. Iborani batukara hambara binaranga. Do talitakina na wakaronga na Mbula FM namba 2 na sere. Bula.
Bula FM namba 2 na sere.
In business tonight, the Fiji Revenue and Customs Service has identified 4 vendors for the electronic physical device VAT monitoring system as a deadline for the supermarkets and pharmacies to install the device nears. The vendors, including iComputer Solutions, Link Technologies, Need ERP, and Pacific IT Solutions, have received accreditation from the Revenue and Customs. Chief Executive Vishwanatha says there will be no extension in the deadline for implementation. However, Revenue and Customs will waiver or defer penalty enforcements for those who have made an effort to comply by registering for VMS and collecting their smart card with passwords. The deadline for the supermarkets and pharmacies to comply is February 28. And we now join Sinifa from HFC Bank with the latest from the trading world.
Thank you. A brief update on our local market today. New Zealand retail sales picked up in the 4th quarter, rising to 1.7%. That puts sales 5.4% higher on the year. Australia's key figures continue to come out mixed and consistently on the disappointing side. Closer to home, the RBF has left the overnight policy rate unchanged at 0.5%. Inflation declined to 1.5% in January from 2.8% at the end of 2017, while foreign reserves remain adequate. Current foreign reserves are around $2,161 million, sufficient to cover 5 months of retained imports. And that's a wrap. Thank you.
Thanks for the update, Sinifa. Looking at today's current exchange rate set this morning for the Fijian dollar. The Fiji dollar made gains against the Chinese yuan, the US dollar, and the PNG kina. And as for the commodities market, oil prices were on the rise, closing at $62.66. Gold was up as well to close at $1,330 an ounce, and silver followed suit, closing at $16.61 an ounce. And in growing Fiji tonight, 2 locations outside Lami and Nakasi have been identified by the Basic Industries Limited to develop a gated community. Group Chief Executive Nozar Pareed says each location will contain 400 houses catering for middle-income earners. Pareed says Basic Industries is working with an international company to assist in developing a model for these residential lots.
Be a big, because in Fiji we don't have a gated community. We got 1 or 2 small ones, but this is going to be maybe 100 houses gated community. So what is some sort of a dinera we try to replicate in Suva. So at this stage it is still conceptualized. We have already got the land to some extent. We have expressed our interest and they have accepted our proposal. But now we are looking at a right partner to go ahead.
And that's a wrap from Business This Week. Now to sports. Here's Jamie with the latest.
Thanks, Rachel, and good evening. Up ahead in sports, Jerry Tuwai eyes 4th Las Vegas title. And Siliveni Nawai takes up challenge by Sebastian Singh. This and more coming up.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी से
सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची FM सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची FM is number 1. It's so hot.
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची FM सुनो अच्छा लगे। मिर्ची FM is hot.
हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेफ्रिकी से। मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची FM सुनते हैं। मिर्ची FM is hot. I love मिर्ची FM.
हमें स्पिन टकता हुआ कि मिर्ची FM में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे।
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Fiji Airways men's sevens captain Jerry Tuwai believes the current team is the best prepared side yet to feature on the World Series this season. On paper, the national team is grouped in a relatively easy pool with the Las Vegas Sevens. However, the side has reiterated that they're in an era of the sport where it's anyone's game. Vasil Prasad reports.
Fiji Sevens skipper Jerry Tuwai left the country for Las Vegas tournament with high hopes of winning in USA for the 4th time.
Looking at the body language and everything that's been going on for the past weeks, I think we are going to a good path.
Experienced forward Chasavere Malua says winning the Hamilton Sevens earlier this month was a welcome relief. He believes the fans should stay calm and support the team.
We know that things are not getting to what the fans are like. We just need their praise for the players for the upcoming tournament.
For coach Gareth Beba, beating Kenya, France and Russia in the pool games is the first priority.
Kenya and France actually pose similar threats in the way that they're quite unstructured in the way that they play, and they play a good, wide, expansive game looking for offloads.
The side has 6 days to wrap up its preparations before taking part in a tournament where they were bombed out of the pool stage for the first time in 2014. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
Cook Islander Tukatism has taken over as Suva football coach, relieving interim coach Riaz Ali. His first test will be against Nandi in the Vodafone Premier League tomorrow. Vastil Prasad reports.
Tukatisam is no stranger to this environment, having been involved with the Suva football side last season.
Very excited with these guys in the last 3 days. I've been with them. Looking forward for the season, and I think the guys are doing well.
He believes there is few challenges he will face.
We'll just go game by game. So yeah, again, 3 points will be, I would say, very important for the next against Nandi on Saturday.
Good news for Suva football fans. Veteran goalkeeper Simeone Tamanisau has been declared fit and will play against Nandi.
I think he's recovering well. We're looking forward to play against Nandi. I think Nandi is a very good team. Their record speaks for themselves.
With him, players like Tevita Waranivalu, Madhuan Gounder and Remuere Takiata are expected to add more firepower in the side.
And with a mix of new boys and some experienced boys in the team, I think, yeah, we played well, but there's still room for improvement.
Suva faces VPL leaders Nandi, 7 p.m. at Ratu Kambau Park in Nausori tomorrow. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
In a milestone achievement, Cricket Fiji has been given the green light by the International Cricket Council to host the Senior Men's Sub-Regional World Qualifier. 4 teams from the South Pacific will battle for the top 2 positions and will go into the next leg of qualifiers. Eroni Tuinuku with the details.
The International Cricket Council East Asia Pacific Regional Development Manager Jane Livesey says Fiji has the material to host such international event.
Oh, look, I think all the infrastructure's here to host already. We're very happy with the facilities at Albert Park. That's an amazing redevelopment that's happened there, and it'll be a beautiful place to play cricket.
Cricket Fiji Chair Elikim Boumai believes given the opportunity, Fiji will evolve through the sport.
Everyone knows cricket is very much on the decline, and we need these kind of tournaments to really lift the profile of the sport. Not only in Suva, but in Fiji as well. And
Tournament Director Josefa Rika says this will be an opportunity for Cricket Fiji to be part of something big.
Obviously a relief. We've tried over the years too. Obviously Albert Park wasn't at the state where we could host tournaments a few years back. But with what we've got, I think it's a perfect time to capitalize on that. Great opportunity for the country as a whole as well. But The work starts now, and we're very much looking forward to it.
Fiji will be the first country in the South Pacific to host a World Qualifier. The qualifier will be held right here at the Albert Park in Suva from the 25th to the 30th of August. Eroni Tuinuku, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, FASANOC has released its list of athletes to compete at this year's Commonwealth Games. Head of delegation Patrick Bauer says athletes who did not make the cut have 48 hours to appeal. 96 athletes have been listed, and those who did not make the cut have until 4 p.m. this Monday to lodge an appeal backed with their evidence. The numbers will be trimmed down once the national federations finalize their lists for team sports.
Appeals will be taken to the tribunal, and the appellant will be there to answer to the appeals, to what they're lodging, following which the appeals committee will make a final decision. If it's a fair complaint, or those who have been selected have been fairly selected and deserve to stay in the team.
Siliveni Nawai has accepted the challenge laid down by Sebastian Singh to local boxers and is ready to take him on in the 67-kilogram category. According to Nawai's camp, all systems are ready to go, and it's now on Singh to follow through with the invitation. Meli Tavanga reports.
The war of words has begun. Molo Molo Boxing Club middleweight boxer Siliveni Nawai today threw his challenge to the undefeated Sebastian Singh.
I'm ready to take him anytime and anywhere. He announced his challenge last week, and I'm training now, and I'm ready for it.
Backing up Nawai is the Canada-Fiji Southern boxing promoter Simon Naushed, who's willing to promote this fight and says it will be a top-quality bout.
We are ready, the promoter is ready, the boxing commission is ready, and the venue is confirmed, and we are planning to bring this fight in somewhere in around May this year, and this will be a preview of the towards the title fight, which we are also planning to get it in our next promotion in June.
Nawai's camp is already gearing up for the bout.
So if you want to fight Nawai is ready to fight. If you want to come down to fight light welter, Ronald is ready. If you want to come fight in the middleweight, Abechan is ready. My three boxers are ready.
If this fight goes ahead, it could be one of the best toe-to-toe bouts seen in recent times. The proposed fight is tentatively scheduled in first week of May at Prince Charles Park in Nandi. Meli Tawanga, FBC Sports.
AFL Fiji is pleased with the increasing involvement of women in the sport locally. Development Officer Simon Highfield says the number of Fijian women playing the sport is great, and they want to mirror this achievement with more female coaches. Luciana Tangidakimbao reports.
Women's participation in AFL has grown over the past years, and this has played a major role in taking the sport to a new level.
Female participation grew over 150%, so it's really promising to see that our female staff are engaging more females at school and community level.
Highfield says their next focus will be carrying out coaching clinic for the women.
Just continue to grow in the school and community level. We'll improve our female coaching. We'll just continue to get females to play in sport. So we've obviously got the Powerade Cup again this year. We want to try and grow the number of senior women's teams in that competition.
Development Manager Pacific, Ben Drew, says many of the female players are now involved in community work.
Do a wonderful job here in engaging themselves into our game, and we've prided ourselves in providing a safe and equal place for the girls to come and get involved, and that showed with 47% of all our participation being female last year in Fiji and 46% across the Pacific.
Meanwhile, the Fiji women's team is ranked 5th in the AFL Women's International Standings. Luciana Tangedakimbao, FBC Sports.
That's it from sports tonight. Join Angie later on with weather and in new media. Look at some of the possible improvements to Apple's next AirPod. That's after the break.
Bula, kerong mai singatoka, kerong do talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and do moi viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon ko lang do talita kana Radio Fiji 1 kana do moi viti.
Ya kuyazo silil tale, nagurara mai na omanyi, nandonga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu Venezuela, nagudurong varong na Radio Fiji 1 nandumai viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 nandumai viti na vonga ni BNN.
In new media tonight, a report says Apple is coming out with new AirPods this year with tougher water resistance. It may also change how Siri is summoned. And it's weather time now with Angie.
Hello to you and to the weekend. Yes, the weekend is finally here. Fridays are usually amazing, especially if the weather is incredible. We did have some heavy falls in some areas, however, we had little sunshine to dry things up. Taking a look in the west, a beautiful day with sunny spells. It looks like it will continue to be that. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, quite rainy, more rain is likely for tonight. And up north, quite muggy here, but it looks like there's gonna be rain later tonight. At sea, east to southeast winds 15 to 20 knots with moderate to rough seas. For the tides, high tide will be at 1:08 a.m. with low tide at 7 a.m. Sunrise will be at 6:03. For tomorrow, it's the shopping day, so be sure to carry your umbrellas along. Tomorrow's temps, Lambasa will be warm at 32 degrees. And looking further on to Sunday, it's the resting day and there is high chance for light showers. So a sleep day it is, I guess. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fijian Pulse tonight, we asked, who is your tip to win the Super Rugby competition this year?
I think the Chiefs will win the Super Rugby this year.
I'll just take on Crusaders because they are defending champion from last year. And I think they also got skills players as well.
I think Crusaders will win the Super Rugby this year. I think Crusaders will win. They have a high chance of winning.
I think this year Crusaders will win because they have a good place.
Recapping the main stories tonight, investment policy to be tuned to Fiji, 2 jail for violent robbery, and FICA investigates complaints against Felix Anthony. Now for these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question this week, we are asking, should strict penalties be implemented against those pedestrians who use mobile phones while crossing roads? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day, the beautiful sunset captured at Novotel Lami Bay by Syed Hussein. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe and have an enjoyable weekend. Bye for now.
Wrong on the Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon mo sekolah untuk tali tak na Radio Fiji 1 kena Domoy Viti.
Kaya ko silil tali. Naguraramay na omani nandunga. Gitu tali yang gitu kena sebale nagutu rongo. Barong na Radio Fiji 1 nandumay viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 nandumay viti na vonga ni BNN.